Spiral Dial. Sci-fi with a soundscape.
A short struggle ensued, scuffling, swearing and cursing, followed by boots kicking and thumping against the tank. The dolphins beneath gazed up at them, expressions unreadable. Meanwhile, Finn spread himself out atop the tank and proceeded to groom his nether regions in a leisurely fashion. That cat really could relax anywhere. Morven touched Jessica's arm, gesturing down and clenching his fist. Surely he couldn't be considering an intervention. Jessica grasped his arm firmly and shook her head. Morven, in a fight with Ant, stood no chance at all. He shrugged her off, seemingly determined to bring about their destruction. "Stop him, sister. He will destroy us all," Pyro hissed. Morven teetered on the edge, about to launch himself down atop the dueling duo. "Sister, use the tank." Jessica spread out both of her palms on the tank and felt that unmistakable tingling sensation. Of course, the tank was crystalline. It tasted like quartz. There was no time to stop, no time to think. Jessica immediately dove into the container and found herself spread thinly across its cylindrical surface. Beneath the earth, she had only seen colours and shapes, and even those had been indistinct. Up here, she was able to take in 360-degree view of the office all at once. Everything seemed somehow more vivid, sparkling and glistening in the sunshine. "Stop him," Pyro said, interrupting her reverie. Morven had one leg over the side of the tank, dangling dangerously close to the massive arms and legs fighting on the floor. Jessica acted on pure instinct. She extended the tank upwards and around Morven by forming a bubble in his exact shape. His movement stopped straight away. "At last, I knew you would see sense, sister." The scuffling stopped. Archie had emerged victorious, holding Ant in a necklock with his right hand. His black robes cast aside, he was dressed in a natty purple velvet suit, which appeared none the worse for the struggle. It seemed Ant's moments were numbered. Jessica could not see Archie showing him any mercy after what had happened down below. Archie held both Ant's legs between his own, making it impossible for him to move. She watched as Archie tightened his right hand around Ant's neck, preparing to deal the fatal blow. To her surprise, Archie did nothing of the kind. He merely stroked Ant's hair, gently caressing him before kissing him on the cheek. All of the fight seemed to go out of Ant after that. Sobbing, he rolled over and fell into Archie's arms. The two of them began making out frantically, Archie pulling at both of their trousers. Jessica watched in disbelief. Her 3D view meant that there was no way she could miss any of the action. What was Archie thinking? They were already both half naked and making their way well onto third base when a gentle thunk from within her confines drew her attention. One of the dolphins nodded upward, drawing her gaze. Morven was turning blue. Completely encased in crystal, there was no air for him to breathe. Panicked, Jessica released the bubble, but it only released him back into the tank, where he floated lifelessly in the water. How could she have been so stupid? The need for air had simply not crossed her mind. Fortunately, the dolphins were quick to act, pushing him to the surface of the water and pummeling him with their noses. Jessica had almost given up hope when he took a deep breath and vomited up a large amount of water. It was clear from his flailing movements that he had no idea whatsoever how to swim. The dolphins tried to keep him afloat, but he seemed in such a state of panic that he only pushed them away. The thrashing noises must have been audible outside the tank. Fortunately, Archie and Ant were doing some thrashing of their own and seemed completely oblivious to the struggle taking place only a few feet away. The captain, of course, had a front row seat. Their movements intensified, eyes shooting daggers towards Morven. Jessica could feel them every time they touched the tank. It was as if a malign influence cast a shadow over the base of her soul. She expanded the base of the tank just a little, pushing down on the captain's face, and their movements abated.
"Leave him, sister,"
Pyrope said.
"In fact, why not finish both of them off now? The Queen will be forever in your debt."
No, Pyrope. I won't kill anyone without good reason.
Good reason? I can think of several hundred good reasons to eliminate these two. Waste of oxygen, both of them.
But you don't even breathe oxygen.
We may not breathe oxygen,
Pyrope said.
but it can form a part of the earth, come in and go in with the seasons and the heat and the tide. Besides, you need not kill anyone. All you have to do is nothing at all, and they will both die.
Jessica realized that the mineral was right. The dolphins were tiring, and the captain would not be able to survive without food and water for long. They would eventually die, drowned in their own excrement. Jessica tallied up the captain's crimes over the course of the voyage: experimentation on unwilling participants, the extermination of babies, and an unknown number of ship's doctors. enabling Archie to inseminate the ship's population by both musical and physical means. Was all of this really the captain's doing, though? Where did Patricia fit in? From everything Jessica had seen, the captain may be in charge of the ship, and the odd bit of sadistic chair play, but the most devilish deeds she had seen during her time on board had been all instigated by Patricia. Death might be no more than they deserved, but Jessica could not be responsible for it, not without being certain who was to blame. She would never solve the mystery of Spiral Dial by eliminating the captain. She had to know how the ship worked. Beneath them, Archie and Ant's movements seemed to be reaching a climax. There was no time to waste. Jessica formed a bubble, reaching around Morven and pushing him outwards, towards the air, towards freedom.